Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the local show, the 2022, and I'm sorry to say it, fall edition.
It's okay.
The autumnal equinox is in full progress. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On the local show, we have conversations about local business with business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, civic organizations, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We talk about how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You'll hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Happy weekend to Steve Roberts.
Happy weekend, Tom. I don't mind you calling it fall when it's fall.
Right.
My problem is that when you call it winter when it's fall. That's my issue.
Next week, it'll be the early winter edition.
Oh, no, so you know. Don't do that. No. You know how much I love winter.
Absolutely.
I hate winter.
I was going through some old video clips trying to, organize hard drives, which is in our business all we do, right?
Yeah,
moving things from hard drive to hard drive. And I found some clips that I took in the backyard last year with the snow coming down, with the big flakes. You know how we get those big flakes?
Did you have it in slow motion?
Yes, I had it in slow motion.
Isn't that cool? It's kind of coming down.
And I thought, yeah, it's coming. See, I like to look at it then, and I like it around the holidays, and then I want it to go away.
Yeah, I want to go somewhere warm when that happens.
Yeah.
But,
who knows?
Not so much.
Well, look, we've got a great show for you, folks. This will keep you warm and cozy. Dan Palladino stops by. He's the owner of Heritage Hill Brew House. We'll have a good conversation with him. Tom Woodford III is the operations manager at Woodford Brothers. And Christy Shivda stops by again, manager of the manliest branch of Geddes Federal. David Knapp gives us an update and a full detail of what's happening over at the Lafayette Apple Festival. He's the treasurer over there. And then Dave Schneckenberger, who is the president of Thompson & Johnson Equipment, will talk about his business. And Daniel Hartnett is the owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, all on the local show today. And we'll get to all of them, and make sure you stick around for the entire thing, because we're going to be giving away that RV at the end of the show.
That RV?
Oh, no, I can't.
What does that stand for, Tom?
The recreational vehicle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just checking.
The $100,000 vehicle that we were going to give away just as a gift for listening.
That is amazing. That is amazing. But there is some other news here.
Oh, there is? What? What's that?
Well, folks are now able to find us on video. That's different things. So people have just started to find that. Yes. So if they search out the Zoe Advertising page, or the local show, or they're on Facebook or YouTube, there's things. So not only can they hear our wonderful guests, they'll be able to see them and see you, Tom, more importantly.
Well, yeah, that'll be great. If we were losing any listeners, now we'll really be
come on.
seeing them go in droves.
They'll be like, that's what they look like?
That's what they look like. Woo! Why are we even listening?
Well, Tom does have a face for radio.
That's right. Well, we'll see how that works out. And, as things progress and things get better, I'm sure it'll mean absolutely nothing. But Dan Palladino, right now, he means something to us. Yes, he does. Dan, tell us a little bit about who you are and what your business is all about.
Yeah, we're actually okay when it comes to fall, because it's beautiful up in our place, in Heritage Hill. Yeah, it's our brew house, and it's actually really a complete entertainment venue up in Pompey. We have a full restaurant with our own barbecue and the whole brewery, and then multiple facilities that we host private and events in, and we do some public events, and we're going to have our anniversary party coming up September 30th to October 2nd, so that's going to be a fun weekend as well.
Right. I wanted to come up and do a 90s dance party.
Yeah.
For you. With the DJ.
That's right up my alley.
Except I'm booked all that weekend with wedding receptions. And I'm like, crap, I really wanted to do that.
You're too popular.
Yeah, I know. That's
well, now you guys spend so much more time getting ready because you're on video, so.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Now with this thing, I have to actually
Tom
make
took a shower and everything.
Where's my pancake makeup? I need to get the shine off me. Yeah, that's it. So, Dan, your place is absolutely gorgeous. And now you have, let's grab those glasses.
I'm throwing things.
You have those 85-inch screen TVs up there as well. What's all that for?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun up there. So fall means football. I love Syracuse football. I love the Bills. I love all football. So we really we sponsor Syracuse sports. We're the official Buffalo Bills watch location. So we're really doing that up. We put in 3 big, huge 85-inch TVs, like you said, around the bar. It's kind of like a big scoreboard style. We have Coach Baber's show every Thursday. We do the football games, any Buffalo Bills game whenever it's on, or Syracuse game, we're open until it's over. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had obviously a great start to the season with Syracuse 3-0 and the Bills 2-0. So it was a good move, and we're just going to keep doing that throughout the season.
If someone's never been there, and here 6 months ago, Tom and I had never been there, and paint the picture. I pull up, I'm go up this hill. And what do they see and what do they experience?
Well, you pull in. First, you see Stella and Dominique, the 2 donkeys, and it kind of sets the tone of what you're pulling into. People are always wowed. The buildings kind of stand in the way of the view when you first pull in. So you see the animals, you see this big red building, you see our huge, house that's there. And then people walk in, and you just see them walk around the corner and their jaws drop because you see that view of all of Syracuse, all the way to Lake Ontario, literally all the way to Monroe County this way, Oneida Lake this way. And you're just sitting on top of the world, and it's all right there, right when you're around the corner of the building. And then they walk on and they go to our event barn with the big wraparound deck. They see the pavilions. We've got 3 different pavilions and private areas, and then we have hammock swings and animals. So the kids, they immediately start running over there. And the whole idea is just give families a sense of relief, a little bit of peace and escape. And that's what people always say when they come up there. So our goal is always to keep it casual, casual barbecue. We got kids' meals. We got great food. We smoke all our meats there. We make our own beers and seltzers. We also have a full bar, and we have great, non-alcoholic beverages for the kids or anybody that just wants to have just something regular to drink. We have an outside bar. We have an outside grill. There's endless possibilities when you come up. And we've really focused lately on booking a lot of private parties and stuff. So we got multiple facilities that you can do anywhere from 20 to 30 people all the way up to a couple hundred. And we just booked a 700-person clam bake for the fall. So
nice.
we can we got 300 acres, so we can spread you around.
I miss
we can mix in. They probably wouldn't even notice that we showed up, right?
I miss the clam bakes, man. I used to play
bakes?
clam bakes, this time of year.
Back Hinderwaddles.
Oh yeah,
right?
Hinderwaddles. I play there all the time. Yeah, and how about my boys over at the spinning wheel too?
Yeah, I mean when Hinderwaddles closed, it was a big loss, and so
sure.
There was a spinning wheel, and we've stepped in, and it's with our location, it's just great because people just
it's perfect,
relaxed,
right?
It's not that far away.
Do you find that people are less concerned, now that, supposedly we have the, vaccines and all this stuff, so they're not too worried about the Okefenokee flu and the COVID and all that?
We actually did really well because when people came up there, they just felt that sense of peace and the fact that you were out there. And literally the history of Pompey is it used to be a place where they brought tuberculosis patients because of the fresh air.
No kidding.
I mean, it may not be beautiful in January, but we do have a solid breeze all the time.
Social distancing and 3 masks, Tom, back in the day.
That's the way it should be.
A little sarcasm there.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, we're going to continue talking with Dan Palladino. We've been talking to him for a little while right now. He's the owner of Heritage Hill Brew House, heritagehillbrewery.com if you want to look them up and see some really nice pictures. We'll get into more conversation with him coming up. You don't mind sticking around, do you?
Oh, I'd love to.
Despite Steve? Okay, good.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
That's great. Stick right here, folks. More local show coming up on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan on News Radio 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Back at it again. Thank you for sticking around. The Local Show with Tom and Steve, both from Zoe Advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Speaking of Geddes Federal, can you still get a home equity loan?
They do. Actually, I'll use a platitude. Now more than ever, Tom.
Yes, of course. Especially with the holidays coming up. Right. You want to remodel that bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have decided we're going to stay. We were talking about
in
moving.
their homes.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're going to stay in their home. We were
right.
talking about moving. We know, and they build relationships in the community and stuff. So now they're saying, well, what can we do and how can we do it? Well, they can do it right there at Geddes Federal and get the money, borrow off the equity in the home, do the kitchen, do the pool, put rubber stone in the basement or whatever they want to do, or the garage.
All projects.
All of those things are there. Actually, I was at the Verizon store a couple days ago, and I got talking with a young man there, and he said, well, we're looking at home, we're thinking Auburn, we're looking around, and we're not sure about financing. I said, oh, really? He was talking about finance. I said, he goes, I heard Geddes was good, because I mentioned Geddes. Yeah. I said, they're right there. He's, you're the second person that told me that. And he's brand new. It was his first day in town at the store. Yeah. So the reputation is great. So if you want to do something, certainly get it at Geddes Federal. Geddes Federal Savings and Loan.com, Tom.
All right. That sounds good. We've been talking with Dan Palladino. He's the owner of Heritage Hill Brew House, heritagehillbrewery.com. We're going to continue that conversation. He's up there in Pompey. What's that? The highest place on earth, or you get high up there? What's the deal?
Only during hippie fest.
You're right. Is it the?
It's that highest inhabited point in New York State is what the sign says, and what they've said all along, because it's where the town is actually incorporated. Of course, there's higher spots.
Sure,
there's no towns at the top of them. Most towns are built in the valleys, whereas Pompey was built on the top of a hill.
Right. So. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And of course, this time of year, sure, it's bittersweet for a lot of us because we know that the snow will be coming, but you can't get a better shot of the entire landscape than up there.
I can't believe the view.
Yeah, it's really
blown
nice.
away. And it wasn't the first time I was there, I was blown away.
Right.
The second time, I was still blown away.
And of course, I've never seen it during this time of year, so I'm eager to see what it does look like. But let's dive in a little bit to two aspects, actually three, but we'll start with the beer. So you make your own beer up there, locally sourced hops and wheat and barley and stuff like that?
Yeah, we're a New York farm brewery, which is what allows me to have the business right in the middle of the farm like it is. Mm-hmm. And with that, we are by law have to use 60% New York State ingredients in all of our products. But we're well above that. We try to use New York wherever possible, even in the restaurant as much as possible. So we make our own beers, our own seltzers. We carry canned cocktails from other New York places. Our full bar has to be other New York farm beverages, but New York has great spirits, ciders, wines, and so we have all of those. And we serve Pepsi products, and Pepsi's a New York State company too. So we do carry all of that, and it's a lot of fun. And we have 18 different beers that we've made, beers or seltzers on tap right now. So wide palette of tastes for anybody.
Do you think you could make a beer, a local show beer for us, and brand it?
Yeah,
the local show.
With Steve's face on it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
I think I can make it, but I don't think I can sell it.
Hey, come on, everybody.
Let's not do anything to turn off.
Let's all get along here. And take the donkey off with Steve. Right.
Steve and I like a particular type of beer, and we happen to agree on our beer tastes.
Yeah,
it's the only thing.
I was just wondering if there could be like a local show beer and see if people would really catch on to that.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that might be.
So you've got a big next weekend. You got a big anniversary thing. Tell us about that.
So it's our 4th anniversary. We've celebrated it as an Oktoberfest at the beginning of October every year. We have a nice Oktoberfest beer. We have a pumpkin beer called Oh My Pumpkin Pie. You can get at Wegmans starting this week and up at our place. That's great. And we do a nice caramel rimmed glass with cinnamon and sugar. People just love that this time of year. So we have our anniversary festival. Last year we had a tethered hot air balloon, and we're going to do that again this year. We're working on that plan, and people could go up and take rides in the hot air balloon. We have Lee and Steigerwald's bring their German food trailer, and so they have all German specialties. And this year, with our new sponsorships in football, on Friday the 30th, we're going to have Brent Axe doing his live ESPN radio show, where we're going to have a tailgate in the barn for that.
Wonderful.
And then on Sunday, we're going to have Cody Mack doing a Buffalo Bills tailgate in the barn. So it's a live tailgate. We'll have a buffet out. It'll be a lot of fun.
That's all next weekend.
Yeah. All next week. Bounce houses for the kids.
So Friday,
That's
Saturday,
free.
Sunday.
Maybe I'll have to get up there on Friday. I don't think I'm booked on Friday. I haven't seen Brent in forever. Brent and I work together at Clear Channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Excellent. Yeah, he's
We're
great,
good
and I
friends.
look forward to having him up there. And everything is included, including the bounce houses with the kids. We do it for our anniversary. There is a charge for the hot air balloon just because they they have to pay quite a bit to do that. But it's a great thing. I went up with my kids last year, and I thought, it's just 100 feet up, and oh my god, I had the death grip on that thing.
Tom, no, he's not.
Forget that. Are you kidding me? Jeez, I want to pay to be scared the bejesus out of me.
That's so back up to the clam bake. So if a company wants to book a clam bake, because who's doing clam bakes?
Right.
Not many people. And the spinning wheels do them. They do a great job. There's not a lot of
I don't even know if Spinning Wheel's still in business, are they? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard. I mean, I always go back in my head to Hinderwaddles.
Yeah, Hinderwaddles was it. Yeah.
So you can do clam bakes up there.
Yeah, we're doing clam bakes. Little neck, Long Island little neck clams.
Beautiful.
All of our barbecue items.
Do you get the sand out of them? Some places just got the sand
all the
in
time.
them,
You got to buy the best little neck clams. You got to get them from the right place. We tested them all out in the spring before we started this up, and we've had nothing but rave reviews.
Do the testing here next time.
Yeah,
Bring them by. We'll test them
when we have the Tom and Steve beer. So.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah. So we have a email hospitality@heritagehillbrewery.com if anybody wants to book any type of event. And that includes like a 20-person birthday party or a 30-person bridal shower. We renovated our little cafe, which is a nice cozy place with a fireplace.
Yeah, that's
Put
nice.
big long tables in
beautiful.
there now. Well, now we have big long tables and comfortable chairs, and so it's a perfect place for this fall or winter to have a nice little private event. So,
Bridal showers, baby showers, anniversary parties,
Retirement parties,
retirement.
And the
It was
food,
perfect
Tom,
up
the
there.
food.
Yeah.
We talked about the beer, the food.
Yeah, and
I
the
was up
food's
there
amazing.
at Empire Farm Days, a big event. I said, "What should I get?" He goes, "Get the beef brisket."
Yeah, the brisket is
Oh my gosh!
amazing.
Because I would have probably gone for you. It was so good.
Yeah.
Any new items for the fall or the winter?
Fall we'll be adding our chili back on.
Chili,
Usually
yes.
we're very comfortable with what our menu is now, so we just have a couple seasonal changes that we do, where we add that, and we start to it gets to fish Fridays.
Oh, really?
So we'll have
Okay,
fried or
good.
broiled fish on Fridays, fresh from Polgi Seafoods in Syracuse.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll be coming up for that then. Yeah, nice.
Fresh fish is the key.
And then
We're
you
not
got the
losing any
coffee
weight.
shop. The
That's
coffee
what he
shop
said, the
too.
cafe.
Yeah, the cafe.
He's talking about the cafe.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
coffee shop, and it's.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
wonderful too.
He made me
So you
hungry.
got all that
Again,
going
you
on.
made me hungry.
All right. Dan
good.
Palladino, you and your family and all of your workers up there. And you still looking for employees real quickly?
Everybody's
Okay.
looking for employees.
Okay, then
Can they
if
apply for that even
Yeah.
at heritagehillbrewery.com? Is that a place where they can?
We'll go to the website, but just stop in. That's the best part. We have
great.
applications right there, and you can have a live conversation with myself or one of
Excellent.
our managers, and come on up.
Wonderful. All right, Dan Palladino, owner of Heritage Hill Brew House. Thanks to you and your entire staff up there, heritagehillbrewery.com. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Tom Woodford III, multi-generational business, coming up next. He's the operations manager of Woodford Brothers, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
More of The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan on News Radio 570 WSYR.
You have found the best place to be on the weekends. It's on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and you're with the local show, Tom and Steve, both from Zoe Advertising, and we're happy to have you along. Steve, I picked a couple of pumpkins.
You did the albino ones?
Yeah, I had to get rid of the because they're kind of stunted. Some of them only grow to so big. That's how they get the miniature gourds.
Aren't you supposed
Yes.
to prune them? Aren't you supposed to cut off the?
I don't know about that.
Like with tomato plants, if you
Right. Oh, yeah. Because a lot of the leaves get kind of, dead, and you have to deadhead them and get them off.
So are you going to paint them?
No, we keep them in their natural state. But I got some big green ones. Like they're already pretty huge, so I know that by middle of October.
But they're going to turn white.
No, they'll be orange.
Those are the orange.
Yeah, I got the orange ones, the regular traditional ones, not the what I call
Do
the
you move
perverse
them
ones.
or do something so they
Yes.
don't rot underneath the bottom?
You got to move them around a little bit, make them nice, and comfortable and all that kind of stuff.
Just like children.
I sing to them. I pet them. Yes.
Move them around, make them comfortable.
You got to really take care of your pumpkins right there.
That's
but
cool.
I thought you'd be
No,
interested
I'm
in
still
that.
disappointed your zucchini plant died.
I know,
I wanted
that was
zucchini.
terrible.
So next year, plant a zucchini plant.
I got to do a couple of zucchini.
Name it Steve.
Stuff, yeah. I did have that cactus that you gave me. I named it Steve because it looked like you.
Right.
It was prickly and tall.
It's all
Absolutely
good.
perfect. There you go. Hey, it's our pleasure to talk with our next guest, Tom Woodford III, who is the operations manager of Woodford Brothers, woodfordbrothers.com. How you doing there, Tom?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you guys having us on this morning.
Well, we appreciate you being here. Sometimes, we have to actually pay people to be on the show.
Hey.
So
Not us.
you came willingly.
We don't pay anybody to be on the show.
I'm just teasing.
We have to pay Tom to be here, just to be clear.
Well, as long as you have it.
And then he shows up because he's like, well, I have to.
The Woodford brothers, they have a dog too. I don't know, we have Zoe. They have a dog that walks around the shop, right?
Yep. Well, we had Cody last year. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But we do have a couple other dogs that are now part of the team. So
excellent.
Happy to have them there. Yeah.
And you've been part of the team for how long?
So I've been on the books since I was 16 years old. So if you could do some quick math, that's 16 years.
Oh, golly.
So.
Tom can't do quick math.
No, I can't do quick math.
I would ask him how old you are. It would take him 45 minutes to figure out you're 32.
I thought you were talking about me for a moment.
No,
but
my Tom.
Your Tom.
No,
okay,
no.
got it.
I'll pull out my abacus and
Tom
get
doesn't
going
do
on
that.
that.
Tom will go, I don't do the math. I don't do the math.
So your father is Tom Sr. or Tom the First? Or?
Tom Jr.
Okay,
so
Tom
the four
Jr.
brothers originally started the company back in 1962. And then my father and uncle took over the business in 1997.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we've got Tom Sr. who started it. Tom Jr. is my father. I'm the third, and I've actually got the fourth back home right now. So,
Very nice.
we're keeping it going.
How old is he?
He is 5.
Oh,
He's,
that's a wonderful
just started
age.
kindergarten.
Is he working in the business yet?
Slowly but surely,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Starting him off at a penny a minute, just like we were. So.
Good for you. Good for you. So tell us a little bit about Woodford Brothers and what they're doing now, where they started, what their expertise was, and then what have they, turned into.
So back in the day, they did quite a few things. Actually, they were doers of all, masters of none, if you will. But they did a great job. They focused mainly on the timber frame barn, and then in 1997, when Tom and Mike took over, they decided that they were going to focus more on just the timber frames rather than the other things that they were doing as well. As time went on, the family barn kind of died. Farmers nowadays own multiple farms and one owner.
Sure.
It's not the family farm like it used to be. So we actually moved into doing foundation repair and foundation work, which opened the door for a couple of networks that we're a part of. We do foundation repair, basement waterproofing. We finish some basements. We do basically anything in the basement related, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where we're coined the Basement Brothers as well. So so that's kind of where we've come from and where we are now. We actually just got back from our convention, and we got 24th in the network, so out of hundreds of dealers across the United States. So really proud of that. So
Is that a sales thing or a quality thing? What is that rank?
In all reality, the companies, the network that we're a part of, their job is they manufacture, make products, and they put them out to the world, to their dealers. Sure. But then we go out, and it's based on how much material we've purchased from them, and they don't hide that. But the fact is that they have dealer support from the marketing to the sales to the production and they build trainings and classes, and you can come out to them and they'll teach it. So they basically take it from just here's a pamphlet, go sell it, to we will help you grow your business. Nice. So we are all in on that, and we found it to be very successful for us in our business, and so much so we went from 34th last year, as you can see on my shirt, to 24th this year, and we got the Rising Star Award, which we're really proud of, and we're looking for great people to join the team as well to help us with that.
So what makes a great Woodford client?
As far as customer?
Yeah, like who is it that you help the most? Like if who might be listening and goes, wow, I need them.
So basically, any sort of defect that you may see in the basement at all, just give us a call. We do not charge anything to come out and take a look at it, and we look for opportunities to help you any way that we can. We are not pushy. We don't go out there and tell you that, come up with gimmicks and ways to get you right. We come out there and we're just honest with you. We treat you as though you are somebody that we really care about. For instance, my grandmother was who I would envision every time. It was I would never do her wrong. Nice. I would always go to help her with the best of intentions, and I would also try to convince her to do it because you need this, right?
Yeah, sure.
So that was my outlook when I was doing sales managing prior to my new position here. So.
There's a lot of heaving concrete around Syracuse. What's the worst section of town that has the most problems with garage floors, sinking in, or basement floors having cracks and things?
Well, all around Syracuse, I've seen
a lot of stuff.
It can be, it's all over the place. But the sidewalks are typically a big issue, and pool decks. A lot of pool decks, because of how they're designed and built. When they put the pool in, they don't want to compact all of the soil and stone around it so much because they're afraid of breaking the pool liner. So there's always typically settlement if you have a pool deck. If I could draw you a picture, I'd show you, but I can't. That won't do our listeners much help. But yeah, pool decks. Give us a call and we'll come take a look. Again, free estimates, and we can give you some peace of mind.
Garages. My garage goes down into the center. There's no drain, and there's a big crack going through it. So when it rains, the water comes in pools. I can't have any equipment or anything in the middle. So, but you guys have a solution for that probably, and you'll be able to take a look at that.
And you do some things in the radon space too, right?
Yes, that's true.
Yep. So we again, the basement, right? Basement related. Well, radon comes from the ground up. So we also do sell radon systems, and we can come out and take a look at that as well.
Yeah, the mitigation systems, right?
Correct.
They get it out of there.
Yep.
So if you do have radon in a house, it's not a reason to not buy the house, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Okay. No, certainly. And truthfully, it's becoming more prevalent in the realtor market for them to be looking for it, and it's all over the place. It's just a gas. We can take care of it. Right. There's multiple different systems we can do. There's a sub-slab mitigation, or we can even use an ERV system, which pressurizes the basement to keep all of that gas at bay.
Excellent. And just really quickly, anything anybody can do, even though it's fall, as far as weeping walls in the basement and stuff, can you take care of that stuff now?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. We can take care of that year round. So we can come in the winter time and actually do our waterproofing projects. We do have our winter discount that is valid for customers that want to get their work done between January, February, and March.
Good.
So if we can do the work in those months, we will actually give an additional 5% discount to our
So can you help Tom's weeping?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So I have the website. It's actually woodfordbros.com.
Correct.
So it's woodfordbros.com.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. That's great. Tom awesome. Woodford III. Thank you so much, buddy.
Hey guys, thank you very much, and I look forward to the next time.
All right. You have a great rest of the day. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Christy Shivda. She's the manager of the manliest branch of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Stick around for her next on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, right here.
More of The Local Show, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan on News Radio 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
You found your happy place for the weekend right here on The Local Show with Tom and Steve. I'm Tom Soccocio Jr., the creative director at Zoe Advertising, along with Steve Roberts, who's the owner of Zoe Advertising. And we bring you this little thing called The Local Show, where we champion local businesses. Does it seem like fall brings out a lot of local businesses? Like people start to go to local businesses more?
I think there's
I don't know why.
I think there's like two momentums. I think the beginning of the year and then the beginning of fall, like September. I think people go through and think about it's time to, I need to do something. And they go out, and I think they do frequent.
You want a fresh pie. You want something. Jewelry that's made here locally.
Yeah. Yep, I think so. And then I think
furniture.
With winter coming, everyone then wants to hide. So I think it's the pre-hunker down in the basement mode.
Yeah. We had my father-in-law over for his birthday, and my brother-in-law and stuff, and we didn't have any place to sit because we had gotten rid of the patio furniture.
Okay.
At the beginning of the year. It got twisted up and it was rusted and all this. And we've been so busy that we just never bought anything. So a couple of weeks ago, we went over to one of the big box stores and thought, well, maybe they, have the stuff. Well, all of the patio furniture was pushed over to the corner, literally. And it took up about maybe a 10-foot spot.
And they put in Christmas decorations.
And all the Christmas decorations and the Halloween stuff was out.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, are you kidding me? I mean,
it's awful.
They just shut down summer. It's like, summer's over.
They skip Halloween, skip fall, boom.
Skip everything. It's the holiday time. So, but get this. We got a table and a bunch of chairs for like $300.
Oh, that's
which
great.
would normally have cost us probably close to $3,000 during the season.
The lawnmower that you have that I bought in the fall from one of the big box shops, and I went in. It was like middle October.
Yeah.
And no lie, true story. I said, you don't want to look at that all winter, do you?
Good for
They
you.
lowered the price.
Very nice. All right.
They lowered the price, and I bought it.
They moved it.
And because I went and
right.
now that's the lawnmower you have.
Oh, very nice. Yes. Still working well.
That's great.
I love sitting on
It's the
it.
one thing I didn't break.
Yeah. Well, it's missing the ball still.
Yeah. See?
The tennis ball's gone now.
Oh, the tennis ball's gone. Okay.
It kind of rotted off. And so I put a pumpkin there
Good.
on the shifter. So now I have a pumpkin shifter. It's kind of cool. Hey, folks, we're going to talk with Christy Shivda right now. Christy is the manager of the manliest branch of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, located over there in, of course, beautiful downtown Manlius. Yes. How are you, Christy?
I'm well, thank you.
Good to have you on again. And what's new over at Geddes Federal? What have you been doing over there? You got cider and donuts out every day, or?
Well, no.
No, okay.
Not every day.
That's a marketing idea for you right there.
You let us know, and we'll promote it.
All right, got it.
And then swing by.
Cider and donuts.
So right now, I would say new. We have added some tiers to our money market account.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Tears?
So
Like
the-
crying? You're crying over the
Is
money
it
market?
weeping like when Tom has to get on an airplane or go over
Yeah.
a bridge? That kind of weeping?
Those kind of tears?
No, I would say it would be tears of joy.
Oh, good.
at
Okay.
least.
I like that.
So the more money you keep in it, the higher the interest rate. So we've added 2 new higher interest rate tiers to the money.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And is that a money market savings or checking? Do you have both, or?
It's a savings.
A savings,
Yep.
okay.
And I will say with our money market, it's kind of nice because you can write checks off of it. You can
So it's a
have
checking
a debit card
account.
with it.
So it's not a checking account,
It's
but you can write
not.
checks out of it.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
This is doing
Yes.
business locally. So are you saying the money can be accessed in a day's notice? Is that really what that means?
Absolutely.
So what's the difference between a money market and a certificate of deposit?
So the certificate of deposit or CD, you don't have, it's not fluid to you. You can't touch it every day.
Okay,
You let
yeah.
it sit so it earns interest. If you do try to, withdraw early, there's normally a penalty attached to it. But with the money market, your rate is a little bit better than what it would be on your normal CD.
Mm-hmm.
On your normal savings account. And there's a plus because it you can use ours almost like a checking account to some extent.
If the rates go up, does my rate go up or is it like locked in?
So on the money market, it is a variable rate. So if rates go up and, we follow suit, then essentially, yes, the rate could go up as well as down.
Okay. And are people finding that as a good alternative to maybe the stock market right now?
Yes. A lot,
I'm just
for a
saying,
while
because
now,
things are like high, low, whoa,
Sure.
and if people are saying, you know what, maybe I'm retired and maybe I don't want to put my money at risk right now, is that
Right.
is that a better option?
So right now, I would say you're seeing people actually take some out of their money markets and put it more into CDs.
Okay.
Because rates are going up. Like right now at Geddes, we're offering a 4-month, an 11-month, and a 19-month special.
Okay.
Rates pretty comparable to what they were before the pandemic even.
Oh,
at
I
this
see.
point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're really starting to jump up there. So people are starting to kind of pull out of those money markets where they were kind of dumping them into in hopes that things would stabilize and wait for rates to go up.
So can people just walk into the branch in Manlius and have this conversation?
Oh, absolutely.
Or the one across from the big hill in Geddes? Did you used to sled there, kid?
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you ever get into trouble? Did you ever go to
Never. There were no problems and no issues. I don't know when. I think there was the one time where the person, just kind of like, almost waited because there's no traffic there to begin with, hardly any
on the side.
Yeah, on the side, right? So you'd almost have to like wait till a car comes before you slide into it.
Right.
but at some point somebody did that, and I can't remember they got hurt or killed or something, and then of course they shut down everything.
So if it was icy enough.
Yeah.
And you were on a toboggan with 6 of your friends.
Right.
And there was no traffic on Genesee Street, and you knocked the fence down. You could slide all the way down the hill right into the Geddes lobby.
Right.
they're right
Not
across.
quite, but close.
Right across the street. It was trying to get a location.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
It was a little of a stretch.
One time I had so much speed going, I made it all the way to Fairmount Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's right.
I can't believe
Wow.
him. So people can still get mortgages?
Absolutely.
People can still get home equity lines of credit. They can borrow off their home.
Yes, actually, right now for the home equity lines of credit, people are trying to lock in those lower rates.
Right.
So, before they.
And can they do anything they want with that money?
Yes, it's their.
So I mean, if they can borrow off
like a lot of people like to borrow for, their kids for college. Then you have your normal like home repairs. But if you got behind on something during the pandemic, you can borrow against it and get caught up.
Right.
Okay. Tom, I have a note here. It's
Go
very
ahead.
important.
Yes.
Brian, the president of Geddes,
Brian
his
Dumont.
Giants don't suck this year. That's a note right here.
They're not doing as good as the Bills,
No,
but
so they like won a game. So I thought I'd share it.
okay, that's good. So, Christy, if you had to sum things up, why go to Geddes as opposed to some of these other institutions? Explain a little bit about the culture.
So I would say, and I know that you probably hear this for other places too, but really it is the customer service. At Geddes, you are not going to get a machine. You're going to get a person. You're going to get a live person when you call us. I literally just sat down with someone who was, debating on whether or not they wanted to close out some CDs to take advantage of the higher interest rate CDs,
right.
And I was with them for like 2.5 hours. We sat there and went through each of their accounts.
And no worries.
Try to get that at an online place.
Right, you can't do it.
Or a national, yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, that's Christy Shivda right there, manager of the manliest branch of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Thank you so much, Christy, for joining us, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we hope you'll stick around. We'll be having conversations with David Knapp. He's the treasurer of the Lafayette Apple Festival. And then Dave Schneckenberger is the president of Thompson & Johnson Equipment. And Daniel Hartnett is the owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. All on the local show in hour number 2. Stick around. It starts really soon.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for some engaging interviews with Dave Knapp, treasurer of the Lafayette Apple Festival. Dave Schneckenberger stops by. He's the president of Thompson & Johnson Equipment, and Daniel Hartnett is the owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. All coming up in hour number 2 right here on the local show. Steve is strapped in and ready to go. I see he's just chomping at the bit, ready to talk.
I wasn't actually, but now that you've mentioned it, hi Tom, you still hanging in there?
You're wiggling around like a 5-year-old.
How did you know they used to strap me down? Dude, I didn't think that was disclosed.
Like a 5-year-old waiting to go potty. Yeah.
Even as a kid, Tom, I had a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I didn't really sit in one place.
You were like a walking stick.
It was. Yeah. Yes, the stick has gained a few pounds, but it's true. Well, we were both. You were a weightlifter, for goodness sakes.
Yes, I was. Indeed.
And I was a walking stick.
Rocky Balboa. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. It's our pleasure right now to talk to a perennial favorite. His name is David Knapp. He's the treasurer of the Lafayette Apple Festival, LafayetteAppleFest.org. How are you, David?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming back. Usually we only get people for one time.
Glutton for punishment, as they say. Yeah.
But it's great to have you. You do a couple of things in our community. Why don't you explain to people your background and how you got involved with the Lafayette Apple Festival?
Sure, absolutely. Well, my family's been here a long time. We're grew up on a dairy farm down in Lafayette. They've been the family for a couple hundred years, and as part of that, family's been very involved in the community. My parents were on the original committee that created the Apple Festival back in 1973. So,
no kidding.
Pretty much since I was 11 years old, Columbus Day weekend was kind of X'd off on the calendar. Like, hey, don't plan anything this weekend because, we've got that all set up for you. So I did get a few years of special dispensation when I was down at West Point. They gave me a year or two off because I would have been AWOL if I had made
that's
it to
never
it.
good.
That's not a good
wait
thing.
a second. You're just kind of skating by that. You said West Point.
Yep.
You went to West Point?
Yes, went to West Point.
Oh my gosh.
Graduated in 1984, so a few years ago.
What kind of a grade point average you have to get into there?
I think it was a down year in 1980. And
good golly.
And I played lacrosse. I was a lacrosse player locally here and stuff. So
no kidding.
Yep. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. I think that's what my father said when I got my appointment to West Point. So,
that is wonderful.
Yep. But anyway, we've been involved in the community. My father was a town judge down there for 42 years in Lafayette. My mother taught school for 46 years in the same school she went to.
Wow.
And so. So we're just kind of ingrained in the community down there pretty well, and
nice.
and the Apple Festival has just been just a really nice event down there for the community.
Sure,
and puts us on the map
since
every year.
1973.
1973 was the first year. They didn't know if they were going to have 10 people or thousands, and they ended up getting several thousand people, and it kind of took off from there.
Isn't that incredible?
And so this is actually it's a little bit of a hybrid. It's our 50th year in existence, but because of 2020, the COVID year, we couldn't have a festival, of course. Right. So it's our 49th actual festival, but 50th year in existence. So we said, heck, we'll just celebrate for 2 years.
So now when is it? What are the dates of it?
So it's always Columbus Day weekend.
Gotcha.
So this year that falls on October 8th and 9th. The reason for that was the early years we actually held this in the little Grimshaw Elementary School down in Lafayette. Right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you because that's what I remember when I was younger. Is going over to that school.
Exactly. Yeah. And so
you can push that microphone, by the way, a little. Push it forward a little because you're a little too close.
No. The other way. Your other right.
Very, very good. That's very good.
Well, you said this way.
Yeah.
The classrooms where the crafters all set up their stuff and everything, but we picked Columbus Day weekend because we had Monday off from school.
Oh, right.
So that was cleanup day.
Can we say Columbus Day, Tom, are we allowed to say Columbus Day?
I don't know. They might tear you down.
We might be. I'm just saying.
Yeah, first holiday weekend in October is the Lafayette Apple Festival. And so we just kept that even after we moved.
Right.
And, we've been down at our current location since 1990.
And what do you call that area that you're currently in?
It's Cardiff. It's a little hamlet of Cardiff.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Home of the Cardiff Giant.
I just was going there. Tom, do you know the Cardiff?
No, I do not.
Tom does not know the Cardiff Giant.
What are the Cardiff Giants?
Oh my God,
he doesn't know the Tom.
Is that a fable?
There are listeners that may or may not. So explain the Cardiff Giant.
Okay,
what is
just briefly, the Cardiff Giant. Late 1860s, shortly after the Civil War.
Yes, I remember the year well.
Yeah, these gentlemen were digging a well down in Cardiff, and it's actually literally can throw a lacrosse ball from the Apple Festival grounds to where they dug this well,
right.
And they got down so many feet and ching hit something solid, and cleared it off, and it was a petrified man.
How big was it?
But
was it like 9 foot tall?
10, I think. I've got the exact measurements on my phone.
Was he a relative of yours, Steve?
So they unearthed it.
They unearthed it,
okay.
and pulled it out, and he was strategically kind of covered with his hands, you know, so it was
around his private parts.
Thank you.
Okay, yes.
But I mean, this was a huge thing.
People came from
thousands
to see it. They
literally
had it,
thousands and thousands of people. They paid, I think it was 25 cents a head, which today would have been some serious dollars. And these guys made a killing on it. P.T. Barnum, of course, I know.
P.T. Barnum. Yes, I do know him.
Actually tried to buy it from him.
Really?
I love the fact you haven't told Tom how it ends. This is cool. Keep going.
We're still going.
There's more.
And so I got build up the anticipation.
Of course. It's a good storytelling.
So P.T. Barnum actually made his own Cardiff Giant that he took on the show with him. But in the end, it was uncovered to be a huge hoax. It was, obviously it was billed as a petrified man from biblical times when there were giants.
Yes.
And the way it all came unearthed was the gentleman down there stiffed the sculptor in Chicago who created it several years before.
I see.
They didn't pay it. They told him, well, look, when we make
millions,
we'll pay you. They stiffed him, so he came forward and said, look, I made
it's
this
a hoax. Isn't that funny?
And now, isn't the Cardiff Giant in Cooperstown?
The Cardiff Giant is the original and only is in the Cooperstown Farmers Museum.
Gotcha.
Not the Hall of Fame. The New York State Farmers Museum.
There you go.
In Cooperstown. And we actually have a replica of the Cardiff Giant down at the Apple Festival,
nice.
Laying right there for all to see.
That's funny.
Well,
there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Gosh, we got a little history lesson here.
As Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story. That's something about Cardiff. Okay. Yep. So that's where it is, and we're going to talk more and dive right in. We'll keep you around to talk about who's going to be there, what people can find. I mean, I think a lot of local people know about the festival.
Apple fritters, Tom.
Yes, apple fritters.
Apple fritters.
So we'll continue the conversation with Dave Knapp. He's the treasurer of the Lafayette Apple Festival and historian. And you stick right here. And more Dave Knapp coming up on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts on News Radio 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
We're back into it and back at it, and that means you are too, just by the very fact that you're here and sticking around. With Tom and Steve on the local show, we champion local businesses and local goings-on around town and civic organizations and people who make the wheels of commerce go round and round, Steve.
Well, you know what I did, Tom?
What did you do?
We'll go back to the Cardiff Giant and the Apple Fest here in a second. Yes. I went up, and after 30-some-odd years, I bought new golf clubs.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's great.
So I went up. Tom doesn't care about these things. So I went up to my old friend Chuck Jonick up at the Cicero driving range.
Yeah, well, Chuck I know.
Zillions of people go. He taught me. Okay.
And which is why I don't play.
I was going to say, explain some things. And he was, when I went to Cicero, he was, at the courses, Rogues of Roost and Pine Grove up there and stuff. So known him, bought clubs, the last clubs in the 80s. But playing, I mean, they were good clubs. So finally it was time. And I went up and saw Chuck, and they came in this last week. And Chuck, if you don't know, if you want to know golf or clubs, Chuck's your guy. He's amazing.
Right.
And up at the Cicero Golf Range. Anyway.
So what's your point, Steve?
He said, thank you. It's about doing business. He said, thanks for coming here. And I shook his head. I said, where else would I go?
Yeah.
There's trusted local people, trusted local business people, and stories like that all over, and that's what happens here on the show.
Okay, now I get it. I see how you brought that around.
It took a while to get there, but
it's like talking to my mom. Eventually, it'll come around.
Yes. I wanted a set of clubs like Rodney Dangerfield had in Caddyshack. With the bag and the radio
and the tap.
Yeah.
The tap.
That's the kind of stuff I wanted.
It was the Cardiff Giant golf bag.
Yes.
Absolutely. We've been talking with David Knapp. He's the treasurer of the Lafayette Apple Festival and giving us a little history on it. We're going to dive in more about what's at the Lafayette Apple Festival. But David, what else do you do? You're a legislator?
Yep, county legislator. Been for I think I'm in my 11th year now, representing the southern towns of Onondaga County.
I see.
And
I have no idea what a legislator does.
Well, there's you got your local folks, in the towns and villages, and then the county, and then you get to the state. The county, it's one of those ones that's kind of in between, so a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to it, but it's really, really important. I mean, a lot of the roads in the county are county roads, so maintaining, plowing, all that stuff. Of course, our county park system is second to none.
It's beautiful.
Yep. And the counties actually administer all the social service programs for the state and federal government. So we've got about 3,000 employees at the county, and some pretty important things going on.
So you're a big shot.
Right.
A little drunk with power, I think is what folks say.
And how many years have you been doing that position?
So I've been, this is my 11th year as a county legislator, and then I was on the Lafayette Town Board.
Now, aren't you like
obviously
egg, something with that?
Yeah, we got the
what?
Onondaga County Agriculture Council.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm the chairman of that.
Gotcha.
And that's just an organization that we get some funding from the county and some other places, and to help local agriculture from from helping new enterprises get started in agriculture or keep current ones going. Or we just had our on-farm fest this past weekend. Where we had thousands of folks out to open, with farms opening their doors.
Oh, so you're part of that as well?
Yeah, I'm the main organizer of that.
Oh, okay. So you must work with Patty Bombardo
over
here at iHeart.
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful person.
Great person.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Good job.
Yep, they do a great job for us, and but education is a big piece of it. So,
yeah. Now there's obviously no term limits, right? Because you're still
not on the county legislature. No.
Okay. So
because he's so old. What did you mean?
No.
What was that?
But you have to keep. You have to keep getting elected.
We're every 2 years.
Yeah, you have
we're
to get
every
elected.
2 years.
He exposed the Cardiff Giant, Tom. He was there.
Come on. I mean,
well, hopefully he'll stick around then.
Yes.
All right. So about the Lafayette Apple Festival, people know that there's apples there.
Absolutely.
But tell us what farms participate and where do the apples come from?
So, the festival itself is actually one of the largest craft shows in the Northeast.
Okay.
So we've got upwards of 400 local crafters. Actually, I shouldn't say local because some of them come from Florida, Michigan. We've had them from all over the place.
Pretty crafty, yeah.
Everything has to be handmade, nothing mass produced, and all that. So that's a big piece of the puzzle. But as far as the food and apples and all that, we get source our apples and cider and pies and all that stuff from the obviously Beacon Skiff and some of the other local orchards. There's Ontario orchards up in outside of Oswego.
Okay. Yeah.
And they all do a great job for us. We only allow local not-for-profit groups to sell food at the Apple Festival.
Oh, okay.
So that keeps it local.
So talk about the apple fritters.
Yep. So
you got to talk about
St. Joseph's Church does apple fritters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And just to let you know about that, we had a young man that was in law school with my daughter that came down and volunteered to help us, and I brought him some apple fritters, and his first bite, and he looked at me and said, "Mr. Knapp, that is life altering." Yeah.
They
are.
They're
love a fritter.
They're yummy. So, but there's every kind of food you can imagine down there. Of course, every kind of apple food you can think of as well. We we think of it as a nice family event. You got the crafts and all that stuff. We've got lots of outside displays. Besides crafters, so the local Casanova equipment has stuff there, lawn equipment and
some local home improvement companies.
Home improvement companies,
like
the whole 9 yards from outside. Then you got rides for the kids as well, and every food you can imagine.
It's gotten pretty big. How's the traffic and the parking? And
every year we work on the traffic to keep that going. The good news is, it's been a dry year, so the grounds are
until this past week.
Well,
right?
until this past week, but the grounds are in really nice shape. There's some years where, even last year where we had a really wet summer, and so parking was just a little tough in some of the areas were wet, but The grounds are really pristine right now, so we should be able to.
Worth waiting
We've got
for.
all kinds of parking area down there, just as long as we can get to all of it.
Yeah, it's taken. I've been there a few times. It takes a little while to get in if you go at peak times, but it's worth waiting. It's like going to Heights. You know what? I'm going to stand in line. This is worth it.
No,
It's that kind of thing.
absolutely. And and we encourage folks. If you're coming out of Syracuse, come down. You can want if you can get right off at Lafayette, or if it does start to get back a little bit, go the next exit down to Tully and come right down Route 11A or Tully Farms Road, and that comes right in the backside of the Apple Festival, and quick access, no waiting.
Now, I've snuck up Route 80 before, too.
Absolutely, that's a good way. That works.
Sneak up Route 80, and then you come down Route 20.
Did you get hit by an apple once there?
I was coming through the res one time, yes, because we lived just outside of Nedrow. I was in the valley.
Yeah.
Green Hills Farms was my backyard, right?
Wonderful. Yep. We get some stuff from Green Hills for the Apple Festival.
Which is awesome.
Great
Everything
folks.
there is great. So my wife and I were at that time, my fiance, and we were driving through part of the res, and she had a T-top, and I was laying back. I was tired, and all of a sudden, whack! Right on the side of the face, a rotten apple blew up my whole face. We don't know who threw it, but somebody threw an apple at me, and it was a drive-by fruiting.
To quote Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
That was something else. All right, Dave, thank you so much, and for all that you do, and the whole game. I know there's teams and teams of people
Absolutely.
over at the Lafayette Apple Festival. Thanks
Great
to
folks.
everybody.
Everybody's volunteers, and it gets done.
Date again? What's the date?
October 8th and 9th, and to celebrate our 50th anniversary, Saturday night at dusk, so 6:37 or so, we'll go have a nice fireworks display to celebrate our 50th year
Excellent.
in existence. So,
all right.
Folks can stick around for that.
Need somebody to pose as the giant, Steve is willing.
There we go.
The cartridge giant.
The Steve Giant. All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Dave Schneckenberger. He's the president of Thompson & Johnson Equipment. Stick around for that interview next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back. This is The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts on News Radio 570 WSYR.
Thanks for sticking around right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. You're listening to The Local Show, tuned in, I would imagine, on purpose. Some people might stumble along and find it, and then they hear Steve's voice and they go away, of course, and then they come back and they hear me and
they fall asleep.
You never know. But, this is The Local Show, and what Steve and I try to do, we're both from Zoe Advertising, and, a while back, Steve had this idea. He said, geez, how can we get our clients involved with something a little more value-added and something we could do on the radio, because we get a lot of great results with our clients on radio, because it is a great forum and a great medium to advertise your business on. It's been that way for years. And even with all of the different social medias, radio still comes out number one.
It does.
All day long.
It does spectacularly, Tom. People listen. I mean, the people listening right now, you're listening.
Right, and you're engaged.
And you had a lot of choices.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of different things, but you're listening and engaging. And then every week, everyone on the show, seriously, we were on the show, our phone rang. We were on the show, our phone rang.
Absolutely.
We heard a lot of people heard us.
We
on the
hear
show.
that all the time.
All the time. They're listening. They're engaged. And what you insisted, and to have us do, and I agree with it. You said it's got to be good radio, Steve.
Right.
It's got to be engaging, and it has been. Mm-hmm. So people get to know the folks on the show. They get to feel like they can trust them.
Well, you want to go into places like when you know somebody's name, you feel like, hey, I can go in there and say hello to the president or to this manager and all that, and it's kind of a neat feeling.
And I'd rather do business with someone that I feel like I can trust because I've heard some things. It wasn't a sales pitch. I feel like I know them.
Yeah.
I heard where they grew up, where they went to school, those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, really quickly, they've been around for quite some time, and I've been editing some videos for their testimonials of people, and it's just amazing how people love John Murphy and Marie and the whole gang over there.
They really do, and every day they are helping people protect their home and life savings.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for 10 or 12 years, but now you'll hear all these people saying, we do it too. We do it too. Well, they teach it.
Yeah, they teach other attorneys.
They teach other attorneys how to do this stuff. And people say, well, I'll go online and do it. All right, you do that. You do that.
I'm not going to rely on that.
No, but you're right. When people have done business with them, they feel safe, they feel protected, they feel heard. And if the law changes, they change things as it goes along to help people do that. So if you haven't made a plan, to safeharborwillsandtrust.com, drop them a note.
You have a phone number for them?
I do. It's 370-9977. Write that down. It works better. 370-9977. Even on the weekend, you leave a message, they're going to get back to you.
Great. It's our pleasure right now to talk to a returning guest of the show. It's David Schneckenberger. He's the president of Thompson & Johnson, thompsonandjohnson.com. How are you, David?
Doing great, Tom, Steve. Great being back here, seeing you.
Mr. Schneckenberger, not to be confused with Mr. Hoffmeister. What's that other thing?
I know Schneckenberger. He's not one of your people, Tom.
No.
Or Schenkenberger Meat Market.
Yeah, right. Hassenpfeffer. Mr. Hassenpfeffer.
Yes,
it's not to be confused with him. So, David, what is your background? Are you a native of Syracuse?
I grew up in Oswego.
Oh, okay.
Went to school in Western Pennsylvania, worked in the Midwest for 5 years, and came back here in '81.
Okay. What'd you do in the Midwest?
I sold steel for a steel mill.
Okay. Boy, how do you sell steel? That's got to be
as a young man.
Yeah, as a young man.
Well,
and then you came back and did what?
Came back, went to work with my father-in-law. I married well.
Tom did that.
No, well, yes, of course. I think we all married well. Who can't say that?
So I married very well.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's been a great career so far. Our son just came in the business. He's a Marine pilot. He's been with us now for 3 weeks. So he's, as I said, drinking from a fire hose, learning our business. But it's exciting to have him working with us, so it's really good right now.
So what do you do?
What is your primary business?
What is it that you guys do?
At Thompson
what do we
Johnson?
do? Thompson & Johnson. Primarily, we are a forklift distributor. So we sell, lease, repair forklift trucks primarily from Toyota, Crown, and Clark. Toyota and Crown are number one and number two in the industry. We're privileged to have the two of them in our back pocket. And we work very hard at taking care of our customers. We have an exceptional market share. We have 148 employees and 77 technicians, mechanics.
Wow.
So again, service is what our business is all about.
So right here in Syracuse, you employ. Are most of your people local?
We have branches in Elmira, Binghamton, and Elmira.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. It's still around. Expanded Central New York, so to speak.
So
right?
propane or electric?
80% of what we sell is electric.
Okay.
80%. Wow. Gee, the federal government should love you.
They do. So we're actually working with OCC right now because they want to expand their auto tech into electric vehicles.
All right.
And the car dealers don't understand electrics yet, and that's our wheelhouse. So we're working with them to help them expand their program. We're looking forward to that.
So do you have to plug them in at night, or how's that work with the forklift?
You can either plug them in at night and charge overnight, or you can plug them in during breaks and shift changes or lunch break. And it's called opportunity charging, and you can get a full charge back with lithium-ion batteries in less than 2 hours.
How long does a forklift last once on a full charge?
Typically 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, that's all, huh? I thought you'd
say like but that's
8
working.
hours.
They do work.
But
there's
that's
a
work.
lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of energy that's pushing. What's the biggest challenge right now at the company?
Hiring mechanics, hiring technicians. We would hire 8 or 10 technicians tomorrow if we could find them.
So why should they work for you?
Our culture. We have a really good culture. We just came in third again for the best places to work in Syracuse. Central New York, I should say. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's great.
I think we've come in second 3 times and third 3 times. But what's cool in the survey when the employees do it, it's an online anonymous survey. They have to use one word to describe Thompson & Johnson. And then we get a word collage that uses all those words. And of course, in a word collage, the more the word is used, the bigger the font. And the biggest word, the largest font every time so far has been family.
Wow.
So I think, again, that goes to what our culture is. We're small enough that we can take care of employees when they have personal problems. We can be flexible. We are committed to training. So for the shortage on technicians, We have sign-on bonuses right now in the thousands of dollars to entice somebody. Mm-hmm. But then you got to keep them, you got to retain them.
Right.
So we are right now in the middle of building out a 3,600 square foot training center. It'll be both classroom and lab to let us basically deliver our promise that when we hire someone, we're going to train you to be a top-level technician.
So if somebody was interested in maybe a better culture than their current experience,
yes.
Could they apply at thompsonandjohnson.com? Is that the place to connect?
They can apply online, absolutely.
Yeah. And they can ask questions and see.
Can they use your name?
They can use my name.
Can they spell his name?
Yeah, Hofmeister. No, Schneckenberger.
Okay.
Schneckenberger. It's not that bad.
It's phonetic.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And do use his name. Say you heard him on the local show, and check out those opportunities. There's no need to worry we should be worried about inflation, but there's no reason to struggle with inflation. Get a job and work.
Right.
Novel idea.
Yeah, right.
And work
What
at
a
a
novel
place
idea.
and work at a place where you like the people and like the culture.
Yeah, and where they're family oriented,
that's
and you
right.
can still have a family.
Yep.
Hey, David, thank you so much for what you do and for employing people here and having a great business.
Thank you both. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Hey, coming up next, we're going to talk with Daniel Hartnett, Steve. He is the owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and we're going to talk to him right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
More of The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts on News Radio 570 WSYR on 106.9 FM and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
And do you feel scared? But I won't stop and fall.
You found your golden nugget on the weekend. It's talk radio the way it used to be. And we talk to local people who have businesses, people who actually make the wheels of commerce go round here in Syracuse and central New York. We are the local show, Tom and Steve from Zoe Advertising. And right now we bring a new person onto the show. We're going to talk with Daniel Hartnett, or Harnett, I should say, right? It's not Hartnett.
Hartnett.
It is Hartnett?
Hartnett, yes.
Okay, well, it's spelled absolutely wrong. just so we're clear. Owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, BHHSCNYRealty.com. Does that sound about right?
That's about right.
All right, so we got...
Hardnet.
One on. Yeah.
We'll check the rest of the stats as we go along.
Has anybody ever got that wrong before?
I'm sure they have.
Okay.
So,
Probably intentionally. Not.
Definitely Hartnett. I got to change that so that when I wrap things up, I say it the right way. Hartnett. So tell me, Daniel, are you from Syracuse?
Dan is fine. And,
Okay.
Yes, born and raised in Syracuse, New York. Lived here my whole life.
Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah, which side of town?
Well, from the Strathmore section over on the west side.
Oh, the beautiful Strathmore. Yes, I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah. So I grew up there with 8 brothers and sisters. And,
Oh, golly. You had to be around the block from Joni Mahoney.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my cousins had 12 kids, and they were on the same street. So
A lot of big families.
My wife, the Goshers, they were on West Onondaga, down a few from Strathmore. So
they went to Rotary.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Judy, Jim, and Sherry, and Mary, the whole gang.
Yeah, no, the name is very familiar.
Yeah, there
I
you
remember
go.
seeing a few of them in school.
Probably saw him and said, oh, my gosh.
Yes, can't help yourself. The Goshers, yeah.
There you go. There's another straight line. There we go. Good.
Very good.
Then I'm
All
done.
good. Yeah,
Well, that's
so
good.
I've been in Syracuse my whole life and been in the real estate business since 1982, which means I'm old.
Yeah, that's when I graduated high school. Right,
Oh, okay.
82, yes.
There you go. Well, that's it started out when I started out.
Yes.
Interest rates were about 18%,
Oh, golly.
and I sold a lot of houses.
Thank you, Jimmy Carter. Sorry. Just saying. I'm sorry. I
all
shouldn't
right.
have said
Isn't
that.
that something? Yeah.
That happened, but people, it doesn't matter what interest rates are. People are always buying and selling and
Yeah.
moving for whatever reason.
Sure.
You know, you have 9 kids, you're going to have to move to get a bigger house, right? That's.
Where did you start? What side of town did you start on?
I started over. I started on Onondaga Hill. There was an office there, and at that time it was Gallinger Real Estate.
Oh, yes, I do
Absolutely.
remember Gallinger, yeah.
And I was with Gallinger. John Gallinger was a great guy, very fair man, bright guy. I was with him for 14 years
Okay.
and learned a lot in that time.
Yeah.
Sold a lot of houses. I wound up working with some builders, some of whom didn't listen to what I told them.
And they're no longer builders?
So they're like creative directors. Sorry.
Right. Sure.
No longer around. But then I wound up doing some building myself. I had a partner, and we built quite a few townhouses over in Camillus. That worked out great.
Nice. Are they still standing?
They're still standing.
Well, you must have done a good job. Yeah.
That's right. Still a little shaky, but they're still standing.
And he mentioned before we started here that he does business with Geddes, had done business with Geddes Federal in the past.
Done a lot of business with Geddes Federal. They've been great to me. They've been great to my family and the business.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We love those guys.
Wonderful. So you've always been in real estate. You didn't go to college for engineering and turn it around, or
no? Although it is unusual. People, most people in the real estate business, it's a second career.
Right. Yeah, it's something else. Yeah.
And we enjoy that. We've got quite a few teachers, and we've got some engineers. Teachers are great. Hairdressers are great. They're used to being in that comfort zone.
Right. Yeah.
But teachers are very articulate, and they can deliver the message the way they should. Nurses are always great.
So tell us what's happening in the housing market. Bring us up to speed. Give us all the answers. Buy, sell, high, low. What is going on?
Buy, sell, yes.
Yeah, buy, sell, yeah.
That's correct.
Either way, he makes money.
More of that. Well, it's been post-COVID, which nobody knew what was going to happen with COVID. And we were in some crazy rules and regulations and all.
We hadn't noticed.
All conflicting. But it came down that New York State said, well, you can't go into a house with a buyer.
So I remember that.
Open the door for them and let them go through. And
you had to be triple masked. And
yeah, exactly. And have your buyer just go up and talk to the seller, which is we don't like to do that. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. So that's why we're the intermediaries, and we work out pretty well. But those rules have calmed down now. But post-COVID, there was just not enough inventory, and there were many buyers out there who were kind of locked in their house and said,
"Are prices on homes going to come down because they did go way up? Is that going to level?"
Your crystal ball is about as good as mine. Okay, I'm assuming that they will eventually come. They'll stabilize. Right now, we get a listing for sale, a nice house. If it's priced right, you wind up with many, many buyers. I've heard up to like 35 offers on a single house.
Oh, my goodness.
It was priced
Is that still going on?
Not to that degree.
Okay.
It's not surprising to have multiple offers, but just not crazy numbers.
And people are foregoing home inspections just to be in on the sale. It's crazy.
Well, we clearly suggest don't do that.
Jeez, isn't that
you have to really know what you're getting into. Always have a home inspection, even if it's not to do with the deal, just so you can budget going forward. They haven't made the perfect house yet, so you might want to.
Are you currently looking to attract other realtors to work on your team?
Absolutely.
So this is your brokerage?
This is my brokerage. Okay. I have 8 offices.
8 offices?
I have.
You're really successful. Yeah.
Well, I owe a lot of money.
They're all in the same house, Tom. No.
We go from Watertown, Oswego, Utica, Skaneateles, Camillus, North Syracuse, Fayetteville. And
you did name 8. I was counting. I was going to leave them hanging.
Is that 8? Let me.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to take my shoes off.
What makes someone? Why would someone want to work for your team? They have a lot of options.
Well, there's quite a few options. We've got a phenomenal. We're more of a family-oriented brokerage. We've got a lot of support. Our staff is there. Berkshire Hathaway. When I bought the franchise, when I bought the company, it was a Prudential franchise.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
And Berkshire Hathaway purchased the Prudential brand.
I gotcha.
And they really did a great job with all of their support, their back office and support for agents and learning and support in every way.
Right.
So that's why people should go over there, and you get the support. Do you help with leads? Do you
without
feed
if
them?
we didn't, we'd be in big trouble. It'd be a ghost town. But
and he's not in big trouble. He's got 8 offices. Sounds like business has been good for you.
Business has been very, very good. This is last year was our best year ever. This year we're ahead of where we were.
Look at that. Despite COVID and all that, somebody who's actually got a positive
and coming
message.
on the show, that didn't kill him either. This is great.
This is wonderful. I'll be on tomorrow. No problem. Let me know when you have an opening.
Well, we'd love to have you on all the time. Remember, no project's too big, no fee is too big. So stay with us, okay?
We'll do.
Thank you, Dan. That's Dan Hartnett, right?
There you go. There we go.
Owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services right there. BHHSCNYRealty.com. Thanks, Dan, and have a great rest of the day.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's going to wrap up the local show. That means, guys, you don't have to listen to Steve anymore.
Oh, come on, Tom. It's time. Everybody knows it's time to watch football at the weekend and
there you go.
Go fishing.
Eat some chicken wings and enjoy yourself. Thank you, Steve. God bless you and your families. Get some physical activity today and every day. Eat well and stay focused on that healthy living. The local show can be heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, make sure you get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and streaming everywhere on the iHeart Radio app.